All right, this is Angelo Batio, and I'm starting a little bit earlier. It's a couple minutes earlier. I want to wait for everybody to get online. But how is everyone doing? Yeah, normally I would start right on time, but Facebook had changed their program, the software last week, so I went to turn around. You notice you can read this now? Okay, I want to say hi to a couple of people. I see Alexis. Hello, Alexis. I see somebody named Tiffany, Ed. Let's see, Denny. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, we're starting a little earlier today. Hey, Nick, how you doing? Okay, yes, the video isn't backwards, but here's what happened. This is great. Okay, last week I looked like the Incredible Hulk, so it was hilarious. Hey, Ben, how are you? And so everything was fine. I went to flip the screen so you could actually read the Sawtooth correctly. It turned me green. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding. So anyway, Facebook did an update. But here's what happened today. This is great. I had the camera completely set up, everything strategically placed, and I went to flip it over, and it flipped me upside down. I'm like, you are doing this to me again. Is there no peace? Can I have no peace? And so anyway, but hey, Joe, how are you? It's good to see everybody. Also, I see Nils. Hey, Nils, how you doing? I'm waiting. Okay, we're at 6 o'clock now. Okay, Robert, how are you? Let's see, Danny, how you doing, man? Danny, then Denny. Well, I said hello to Denny already. Anyway, I will start now. It's the exact time. Hey, Austin, this is Angelo Batio and Facebook Live. Today's free lesson is about something that people ask me all the time. Last week, when I was talking, I printed out a document and where you saw 5 different scale positions. And I did it in G major, which could be A Dorian, and I also did it in the blues scale. And then people asked, well, how do you use this? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to post a diagram after this lesson today. And I want to just show you a little bit. And also people have asked a lot about my equipment. I know a lot of people have asked. I use Sawtooth Guitars exclusively. This is one of my brand new signature models. It's got a top-of-the-line German-made Floyd Rose Wilkinson parts. Trevor Wilkinson is amazing. I have a lot of guitars with his trems and hardware on there. And the price is amazing. It's right around $450. And so, the pickups are great, but I mean, to get a top-of-the-line German-made Floyd. And also, we use these medium jumbo frets. We're the only company in the guitar business that does this. It's great for the purists who say, oh no, I don't want a shred style. You know, the 6100 series Dunlap that is like the shred Bible of fretware because it's jumbo. Now, why do shredders like jumbo? I don't know. I like it. And so anyway, but we use medium jumbo, so it feels really close to the same. But if you're used to playing more traditional kinds of necks with more traditional fret wire, it works there. Now, let's get to this bad boy lesson. Let's take, now I'm tuned down a half step, and this is a locking trem. So when I showed the 5 positions, what I showed was this. When you have position 1, say you're in G major. Okay, so that is position 1. Position 2. Sorry, I've got the guitar up like this. Here we go. Position 3. Position 4. Position 5. And then it repeats all over again. So now what I do is when you learn, and I've said this several times during these lessons, but one of the things that, if you want details, I mean really in-depth things, because I talk about several subjects, I highly suggest you get my Metal Method programs, especially Speed Kills. The original Speed Kills, I have 3 words to say, but divisible by metal. 2 plus 2 is metal 4 minus metal 1. So the 3 words are this: speed kills works. It works. It absolutely works. It has stood the test of time. It will help you get better, and it's very detailed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post this exercise when I'm done. And one of the other things that I have been saying over and over, because when I took French, I like French, and I took it in high school, écoutez et répétez, listen and repeat, over and over and over and over and over. And so you cannot hear this enough times. When you practice, you have to think technique, pure technique. The other side, you have to, if anybody messages me on WhatsApp again, I am blocking them. My phone blows up when I'm on these things like, I'm online. Anyway, I'm goofing around, but I use WhatsApp for worldwide communication. So anyway, what I was going to say is this, that you need to think two things when you're practicing an instrument. You need to work on your technique and separate that from the music, and then work on music, because talented people find a way to make music. But the technique, the technical facility that you have will be integrated into the music if you work specifically on that. See, here's the goal. You always work on music. Have fun. That's what it's about. We playing songs. We're not, okay, I'm going to do a concert playing Exercise 7 a lot. And so what does people, oh yeah, dude, the concert was rad, dude. It was like playing Exercise 7 for 45 minutes. I was like, my head was buzzing. It was like over and over and over and over. That's not music. Might be fun to do that sometime. But, so you play exercises, separate that from the music. You're working on technique. Then it will be incorporated into the music. Technique, music, the technique goes to the music. Now, here I'm going to play it slow. I showed you the 5 positions. I don't care what anybody says. There are only 5. Then you repeat. And what I showed you in those 5 positions is every single note that is available to you on the fretboard. In other words, you have a complete roadmap. Your GPS, that is your GPS guide for every single note in all the, what they call church modes, all the main modes, the major scale, which is the Ionian mode, Dorian, Phrygian, Locrian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, so the point is this, you think like this, technique, music, then take the technique and it will be added to the music. Now here, after you play these scales up and down, what I used to do, I wrote a song on my first solo album, No Boundaries, and I called it the Jam Game. It had a really great riff and stuff. The Jam Game is very simply, I would say, okay, you can only play in the first position of the 5 positions, and you've got to play a solo. Then the second position, then the third. So what you want to do is you want to memorize these patterns. Now, some purists might go, oh no, that's in the box. You were playing in boxes. I don't care. Boxes, I want to play in a tent. I'll play by a palm tree. What does that mean? You're in boxes. Musical people find a way to make music. I am showing the technique. And again, I got to use David Gilmour. I have to. It's like, it's in me now. This is not about playing a David Gilmour solo. This is about David Gilmour being able to play Paganini. And so that is the idea. You keep music and technique. Now, here's what I did. I showed a very simple exercise. And I did it, you can think of it really in A Dorian. A Dorian is C major. Now I'm going to play a solo for him. Position 1. Position 2. Position 3. Position 3. Position 4. So what you did is you use all 5 positions. And so, yeah, hang on, I'm still tuning down a half step. Who said that? Somebody said that. Okay, Metallica. I don't know what Metallica has to do with this exercise, but if you have an LMAO, it must be very humorous to you. So, okay, Kirk, here it is. Now, I don't want you to play Enter Sandman. I want you to play an exercise. He's like, yeah, but can I use my wah, bro? I'm like, sure, of course, use the wah. And so anyway, use whatever wah you want. And so here we go then. Now that's the correct way, because I was reading questions when I was playing it the other way. And because it's when you get so many questions coming in, it kind of, I'm really doing my best to try and be respectful to the people who are commenting, and also to articulate the exercise properly. And so anyway, here we go. What I did, this is not something that you can say, oh, I can put this in a song, but the idea will help you to be able to move. See, what it does is you traverse diagonally up and down the fretboard using all 5 positions. It is extremely important that you memorize this, because again, this is a technique, but musical people find a way to make music. It's that simple. So use this as a technique. And so what I did was this. Now, you can start revving up the engine. And so you can do things like that. I used all 5 positions and just went diagonally up and down the fretboard. It is a great exercise to work on. Now, there's something else too. A lot of people talk about this where you use 2 strings. Like, that's another good way too. When you learn the 5 positions, you literally just go up. So you find your position here. For example, here, you're in A. Then where would going up diatonically, meaning every note of the scale, where would you go next? Here. Where would you go next after that? Where would you go after that? Where would you go after that? Then here, and then you repeat it downward. And it's a really good way to work up and down the fretboard. So these 2 exercises can help you greatly. And again, I'm going to say it. I can't say it enough. When you practice, you have to think 2 things. What are you working on? Technique or music? The answer is both. See, you can isolate it and say, okay, I'm going to work on alternate picking, or I'm going to work on economy picking, or I'm going to work on sweep technique or legato or tapping. That's very valid. You work on it like that. Be as strict as you can, creating an exercise that you can play as accurately as possible. Okay, so that's one. The other side, just play music. Just play music. Play what's in your heart, what's in your soul, and then keep working on the technique, because what happens is the technique becomes a part of you like the music. And so the technique will be integrated into your music. Now, I want to see a couple questions here. Okay, now, again, I said this is my signature guitar, my very first series. It's called the MAB series from Sawtooth. There's going to be a lot of guitars introduced. The first 2 are really great. This is called the M24 in satin white. It retails for in the $400 price range, and it's got a top-of-the-line Floyd Rose made in Germany that would be on a $10,000 guitar. And you know, I always say this, but it's true. Anybody can build an expensive guitar. It's not hard. You know how you do it? You hire somebody who's really good and pay them really good. If they say, dude, I can make for like $9,500, well, then you spent 9.5 grand and you made yourself 500. You got a beautiful guitar. That's easy to do. Okay, but what's hard to do is to make a $200 guitar, $300 guitar, $400 guitar using top quality parts that plays like a really good instrument and making it affordable to you. And you know what that does? That's why I love Sawtooth so much. It adds people to the fold. See, we want to add guitar players. We're not trying to steal guitar players from another company, although that's not so bad. But we want to add more people to play guitar. It's a very unselfish thing, and no company can compete with Sawtooth when it comes to the price point and what they offer. I am doing a workshop, concert workshop next week. We're going to do a multi-platform again here on Facebook and on YouTube, and it's going to be an acoustic concert. And I just got 7 Sawtooth acoustics in, and I'm telling you right now, they are amazing. They sound fantastic. And here's how you could tell, the low end. You know, when you listen to a good acoustic, you want to hear how it resonates, how deep it is, the girth, the ooh. You want to hear the low end of the guitar. It is amazing. They have great sounding acoustics. And I can't say that for other companies that I've been with. And that's just the way it is. I've never played acoustics like this. And again, the price point is outrageous. And Fishman preamps, and I just love the instruments. Anyway, so I want to go over this exercise one more time. I talked about the 5 positions where... Now that's the neck pickup. I'm going to use the bridge pickup from now on. Then that's position 1. Position 2. Position 3. Position 4. Position 5. Okay, who is that? Okay. And then it starts all over again. And the beauty about this is that they overlap. And because they overlap, they have to. You can traverse the fretboard. That's what this lesson is about. A simple exercise, and I will put up the tab. I'm going to play it slow for you. It's an exercise in alternate picking, and you're going diagonally up and down and back up the fretboard. 2. Now, what happens when you use that? Again, if somebody says, "Oh, that's like pattern playing, it's in a box." I don't care if it's in a box. In order to think outside the box, you must know what's in the box. So you find out what's in it and then get out of it. And so, great, it's in a box. There's like patterns. Shut up. I don't want to hear about this. In orchestral music, when I studied piano, guess what? We played patterns. Oh my God, Mozart isn't rolling around in his grave, neither is Bach. And so this works. And it's not to be insulting or demeaning or condescending to any other guitar teacher. All I'm saying is this: the open mind can look at things that are closed and extrapolate on that. And all I mean is this: when you play this exercise, watch, I'll just mess around with it. Just goofing around. I can make it up as I go because I know the positions, but also I know this, that when I'm playing for real in a song, I have so many playthroughs. I don't play just strict pattern playing. Yeah, I like to use patterns, but so do jazz players. But you know, I mean, just something like this, you know. Okay, now I'm going to switch guitars. This is called the M24. And we're in the $400 price range. You cannot beat this. I'm telling you, it is amazing. And I don't say that lightly. I used this guitar on tour. I used it for 28 shows recently before the virus of death, the virus of doom encompassed the earth. And so here we go. Now this one is really cool. This is called the M24 Flat Black. And we're talking like not shiny black, flat. And another thing too, you're not going to see my name anywhere on this guitar. It is the MAB series. And so I designed it with the people at Sawtooth, but also I like block inlays. And the reason I like that, it's kind of like lines on a road. I don't need it. I mean, not that I say I drive with my eyes closed. Well, a Tesla, you can do that. But anyway, what I do when I play, there's lots of videos of me where, and then people laugh, well, dude, you don't even eyes, bro. Your hair's like in your eyes, man. And so anyway, when I play, a lot of times I've got my eyes closed and I'm like, and people say, what are you thinking about? I'm like, Taco Bell, Del Taco. But just kidding around. What I'm thinking about is I'm not thinking, I'm just playing. I'm just playing the music. I'm not reacting to it, I'm just playing. And I use the motifs that I was telling you. I use the essence of this lesson. In other words, using the notes of those scales without moving out of it, because a lot of times I'll add what they call chromatic passing tones. Instead of just going, you go. Okay, now, let's see, who else is online? Okay, there's Jenny, I see her. Who else? There's Mickey online, okay. Mike, Nicole, John, Tatiana, let's see, who else? Howard, okay. Good to see you tonight too. Now, I want to go over something that we're deliberating, we're talking about at Sawtooth. Again, this is one of my new signature guitars. It's the M24, and it's in flat black. This is really cool, man. I mean, it is really cool. And you want to know the price of this? It's in the $250 price range. Maple neck, and they use a wood called sycamore. It's super light. And it's a very hardy tree. It's super tall. It's grown everywhere. It's in really plentiful supply. And on my M24, rosewood, some people have told me, well, it's off the endangered list. But let's face it, if you're off the endangered list, you're still in critical shape. And so we use a wood called sandalwood, and everything from the moisture content to other characteristics of sandalwood are very much like rosewood, but it's more friendly to our environment because it's so readily available, not only here in North America, but also in Asia and other parts of the world. Okay, anyway, yeah, the virus of death. It is true. See, I would wear a mask, but wait a second, I'm by myself. So what am I trying to cover? Am I trying to save myself from myself? Well, I've been locked up in my house. Thank God I've got guitars. I got a big kick out of it. I was reading this thing that Ellen, the woman Ellen, the big TV star, she's in a $30 million man. She's like, it's being in prison. I'm like, what part of prison is like $30 million for your own house, man? And so, but I got a nice place, so it ain't prison to me. I'm having a good time. It's like, which guitar should I play today? I've got 7 new signature guitars. And no, I mean 7 new acoustic guitars, but I can't say enough about Sawtooth. Now, I want to ask you, the people out there, a question. We are talking about how these guitars are shipped. When I play in concert, I use 9 to 42s, and then when I use 7 strings, that's a 60. I have my own signature set. Should we ship this guitar with 9 to 42s, or should we ship it with 10s? So it'd be 10 to 46, or maybe even a little heavier gauge string on the low end. What do you say, 9s or 10s? How would you like to have this guitar shipped? So what do you think? Should we ship it when people actually purchase it and get it? Should you get a set of 10s on it or a set of 9s? So what are people saying? Whatever you say, we want to do, because we're debating this, because a lot of people use 10s and it's still a light gauge string. Okay, so I've covered now. I'll go over the lesson part again a little later in this lesson. But what I want to touch base on too is, I've talked about the Signature Series. I've talked a little bit about Metal Method. I have been very loyal to Metal Method. And I've really, outside of doing a column for almost 6 years with Guitar World magazine and a few guest lessons here and there, I've really devoted my career from Speed Kills on to the company Metal Method. We also own the very first shred instructional program ever made called the Starlix video that is available through Metal Method. And I cannot stress enough, Speed Kills works. I'm not an expert in a lot of things, but I'm an expert in music. And it doesn't make me better or cooler. I've said that a lot, but it doesn't. I don't think I'm better than you. I'm just doing my best to help you. And I'm helping you in the most educated way I know. And I'm living proof of it. I play all the time. I've never been hurt. I practice what I preach. I play the exercises I tell you that I play, and I practice the way I tell you I practice. And I do a lot of live playthrough videos now. And you get to see me play, you know, in your face, unedited, not a lot of effects, and that's what you get. Now, also, people ask me, well, what am I playing through? Now, I'm using, do you see this little amp back there? I use Sawtooth tube amps. This is a 20-watt amp with 112. And what I'm using, you know, obviously you see the cable. I'm running it through a tuner, my signature overdrive, and because it's soft, I'm using my signature delay. And it's got a deadly, you know, it's got a more like rock sound, you know, without the overdrive. And it's also louder than God. This 20-watt amp is loud. I mean, I can play with a drummer with this amp. Tube amps push real air, real air. I mean, that's the one thing about simulated amps. They're great and all that, you know, you can get good sounds, but they're not that awesome when you're playing with a real world-class drummer. Now, what I'm using is my signature overdrive. So when and I've got a nice delay sound here too, about 320 milliseconds, 330. When I judge the delay is I do it by ear. I go, and so it goes like, and you can hear it. It's not that prevalent. So it's around 300 milliseconds, 320, 340. It varies because it's a digital pedal, but it's an analog switch. And I like it like that because some days I might feel a little different. Some days I might feel like 310. Some days I might feel like 300 or 320 or 340. It is my prerogative. And so I get to change it, and it's not so strict. It doesn't just say it on a readout. So anyway, here we go. That's the neck pickup, and this guitar lists for right around $250. Sorry, I'm looking at questions or reading while I'm playing here. Okay, now, so I talked about the amp, I talked about two guitars. I'm going to play one more guitar. I want to talk about something else. I have a new record coming out, and it is called More Machine Than Man. And it is really, I'm really proud of it. I got the title when I was a columnist in Guitar World magazine. They did a big article on me, and I had even the center fold. Sounds like a Playboy magazine. But they showed one of my double guitars, the one that went on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And they said that I am more machine than man. And I always liked that. And I knew it was, you know, kind of a Star Wars reference, but I didn't care. I thought it was just really cool. And so I used that for the new album title. And I have Chris Adler, the drummer from Lamb of God. He was the one who won the Grammy playing in Megadeth for their last album. He was Megadeth's drummer for a short period of time, but he was the one who recorded the record. He's a really brilliant drummer. He's a good friend. And he played on 2 songs. And so he's on some of the tracks, and he's on the title track, More Machine Than Man. And it's what I wanted to do with this record, and I've talked about this. When I was signed to Warner Brothers, not once but twice, in the band Holland and Nitro, we had a song in the band Holland that went, I don't want to know about your love. And I always loved that song. It's like, it was really simple, but like... I don't want to know about your love. And then and our singer Tom, who had an amazing voice, sang it like Rod Stewart, like feel it, you need. I mean, he just had this beautiful vibrato. We thought that was our hit song. The label heard it and goes, "What is this? What is this song? This is like an anomaly." You know, they're like, this song's not you. This isn't Holland. It didn't sound like the rest of our record. And I learned very early they wanted stylistic continuity. So, and see, we don't think like this all the time anymore. But for an album, they wanted a cohesive piece of music. And when you think of bands, you can think of Iron Maiden, you can think of Kiss, you can think of Al Di Meola. Usually Elegant Gypsy, the music stylistically, yeah, it doesn't mean that you don't have acoustic songs. I mean, Led Zeppelin did one side of an album electric, the other side acoustic. Again, stylistic continuity, thinking about a side of a record. I mean, we don't do that at all. But here's the point, that all my solo albums, and even in Nitro, when you hear OFR, from beginning to end, it sounds like the same band. We were extreme, and all the songs reflected that. And when I did my first album, No Boundaries, the feeling I got from the song No Boundaries and the song Science Fiction and Peace, it all fit the whole atmosphere of the record. And it's kind of a cool thing because that's what I did on Hands Without Shadows, my album Lucid Interval and Moments of Clarity. And so my new record, More Machine Than Man, here is what I wanted to do. I wanted to make the heaviest record I've ever made. I wanted the rhythm guitars to be part of the lead guitar. So when I play it in concert, a lot of times I'm playing rhythm, and that is actually the main part. Then I switch to lead. And every song, there's a couple acoustic tracks on there, which I wanted to do, but every song on that record is killer. And the underlying stylistic thing is there's very little keyboards. The rhythms are super dry and in your face. You can hear it. It's almost like an exercise playing these rhythms. And the thing that I did with the leads are really cool melodies. And I wanted song after song after song to fit together like pieces in a puzzle. And so hopefully I did it. We're going to be releasing 2 videos. One is called The Badlands. And I wrote that kind of thinking about Montana because I've been there many times and I have, such good friends or they're like family members to me. And so one song is called The Badlands. The Bad Man. Yeah, it's called The Bad Man. And so the next one is called, that Chris Adler played on, The Two Sirens. And that one was great, but we didn't do a video for that. We did a video to More Machine Than Man. And the thing that I loved about those 2 songs that Chris played on, there's a guy named Josh Wilbur. If you don't know Josh's name, you know what he's done. Trivium, Lamb of God. He won the Grammy for mixing and producing Megadeth's last album. He produced these 2 songs, meaning he didn't actually record all the guitars, but he recorded Chris's drums and he arranged the parts of the song. And it's really progressive. It's not only heavy, but it's like prog. And I'm really pleased with the record. Now, again, I want to show this exercise. You got the 5 positions last week. If people want them again, just ask me, message, publicly, and we'll post them again. And then this week's lesson, it's about moving up and down the fretboard. But one exercise can show you how to use these positions. And then what you do is this is a concept. It's a really great exercise for practicing. But see, it's also a concept. And the concept is this, that you start to understand how to use these positions. Once you understand it, that's when the music gets made. It's like, man, this is cool, but if I was going to do it, well, you're going to do it. And so if I was going to do it, this is how I would play it. So I'm showing you straight up and down what. And you can do a lot of things with that. Let's just say you wanted to start here. So you just start on the 3rd. In other words, it shows you how to move up and down the fretboard. Now I'm going to change guitars one more time. I want to show you a guitar that I really love from the line. This is the Sawtooth ES series. This is very, very reasonably priced. Now, for some of you who are wondering, what's going to be happening with my signature line, this is where we start. This the virus of doom pretty much held everything up in the entire world, including my new signature guitar line. But we've been working on this for a while, and I do it in conjunction with the people at Sawtooth. And what we are doing is we're starting with these price points that anybody can afford, almost anybody. You know, I don't take anything for granted when it comes to money. And, you know, I've never been in music for the money. My dad, you had a great saying. He said, son, if you live your life thinking only about money, he goes, you're always going to be worried about it. And so, because if you worry about money, you can never make money. And that's how he said it. It goes, if you worry about money, son, you're never going to make money. And so I do the best work that I can. You know, I prepare for these lessons. You notice the set strategically plays. And then Facebook screwed me up. I had to change the camera because when I flipped it so you could read Sawtooth, it flipped me upside down. I'm like, oh, I'm upside down. Lovely. And so I figured I would start the lesson on my head. You go, boy, Batio's really out there. I think he's been at home a few too many days. I thought it would be kind of funny if I saw you, but I'm upside down. It looks like I'm standing on my head. Hello, I'm Angelo Batio. It's been a very, like being alone for so long. I kind of enjoy it. I'm not crazy. I'm just goofing around. But anyway, playing this guitar, the ES series, it's under $200. And what I was saying, and these guitars are really great, man. I mean, I love it. It's super light, made out of sycamore. It's got a maple neck. It sounds killer. Very Strat styling, and you know, I was able to put my dampener on there, and the dampeners are great. I use them all the time. But what happens in later models that could have been out earlier this year, but we had to delay it because of, you know what? The virus of doom. And so we had to delay it, but we have some really cool, innovative pickup configuration, signature guitars coming out, and we're going to escalate the price point too. So we're going to offer some more features that can only be put on a more expensive guitar. But one thing we're so conscious of at Sawtooth is to give you the best that we can at a price that you can afford. And they're acoustics. I'm just saying right now, I have a lot of acoustics in my collection. And my former guitar company that I was with, I have probably 8 or 9 acoustics. And I'm just saying this, not one of them I would ever record a note on an album with. They just didn't sound right. They just didn't. And there's something missing about the sound. These Sawtooths have beautiful low end. I mean, the low end, that's what when you listen to a beautiful Martin guitar, a great Takamine, a really high-end acoustic, you hear the depth of the sound, and that's what Sawtooth has. They're really great acoustics. I'm doing an acoustic concert clinic next Thursday, same time right here, and then we're going to do it live on Facebook, a multi-platform concert, and I'm going to be playing acoustic guitar in this, even a ukulele. Okay, they make great ukuleles, so I was shocked, and they came set up and in tune. That's another thing too. It's amazing. But let's see. Okay, so I think now, what about the string gauge, everybody? Do they ship with 9s or 10s? Can someone answer that question? My new signature guitars are going to ship this summer. What should we put on them when you get them out of the box? 9, 009 to 42s, or 10 to 46, or maybe higher gauge? Just say 9s or 10s. What do you think? Okay. Somebody asked, can I compare Sawtooth to my former company? No. I don't want to say anything good or bad about the other company. I can just say this. The owner of my former company died. And when he died, my affiliation with that company died. I don't know the new version of it. It's just not for me. There's nothing about it that I want to know. And so it's not that I don't like anybody, or it's just I moved on. The people at Sawtooth I've known for many years. Actually, they own a retail store called Go DPS and music. And I met them because I did a workshop for them, and I was so impressed with the people. They are musicians. They are in manufacturing. They're great business people, but they have a real passion for what they do, and they play through experience. I mean, Joe, one of the owners, is a fantastic drummer. Who is their marquee drummer in the Sawtooth line? Sawtooth makes great drums. They make great percussion. Vinny Appice, Black Sabbath, Ronnie James Dio. John Lennon. And so, I mean, that's not a bad person to have as your signature artist for, I mean, he can play anything he wants. Who do they have on bass? Rudy Sarzo. Let's see. He played in 3 fairly big bands. Blizzard of Oz, you know, Ozzy Osbourne, they were pretty big. Quiet Riot, the first band that got a million, that got a platinum album and a metal album. Let's see, they didn't do bad. And let's see, another band, White Snake. And so, well, they didn't do too bad, just sold a gazillion records. And so he told me one time, he said, lightning struck him 3 times. Now in metal, 2 + 2, metal 4 minus metal 1, we take away. It's kind of like the mosh pit. Not everyone survives. And so anyway, but we are the 3. But do we use 9s? Do we use 10s? But I really love this ES series. I was telling Joe, one of the owners, he's also a great drummer. I'm like, man, this guitar rocks. And you can hear the Sawtooth amp. I've got it a 20-watt tube amp, but I've got it on the overdrive sound, but it's not super overdrive. It cleans up nicely. Or this, like almost like a Skinner. I know it's kind of cliched to play that, but I like that song. And so, but if I want some overdrive, I click on my pedal. Okay, now I want to say one thing about next week. I am doing an all-acoustic clinic. We have been debating whether I use one of the guitars and play my blues track. I'm not so sure yet because people have heard me play the blues before, but I'm going to play it different. I'm going to play it way more traditional if I do it. But I'm going to be playing songs like Live in Your Face, A New Day. I'm going to be playing the rhythm part to No Boundaries. I'm going to play a jazz song, my interpretation, in the style of Joe Pass, the song called Misty, classic jazz song. Johnny Mathis sang that, if you don't know who he is. He was an amazing singer, probably my mother's era. And I'm going to do other things too. I'm going to be doing some acoustic country, and I'm even going to play a ukulele. It's going to be a really great show. And I can't say enough about the Sawtooth Electrics and the Sawtooth Acoustics. I mean, they're really great guitars. And so, and the price point that you just can't beat. Now, let's see. I want to answer some questions here because we've gone over the topics. I've gone over the exercise multiple times here. I've talked about the new record. You really should check it out. It's on Rat Pack Records. They're offering amazing bundles. Now, do we have some time? I might bring you upstairs again. I might show you guys a few things in my house. I showed you, my room with all the 4-leaf clovers. And, I kind of separate my house into different rooms. Like I have my guitar room. There at this time, I actually have to count them all, but it's somewhere between 93 and 95 guitars in one room. And then I've got guitars everywhere, all over my house. Then my one room is my family room because, I inherited things from my parents and my younger sister. I was saying she passed away, so all the things that would have went to her, there is no her anymore. It's really sad around Mother's Day. But anyway, I got it. And so I set up a few rooms that are just, I look in it and I remember my family. I look in these, I see a chandelier that I've seen when I was a little boy, the dining room set when I was a little kid, that all my cousins when we were all little, there's a picture in front with my great-grandmother. And so I have all these different rooms, but I have my office and I have about 20 guitars on there. It doesn't look like it because they're all in cases, but I can show you the new acoustics. They are just amazing. They're really amazing. And I want to show you the new album. The Rat Pack record album, More Machine Than Man, comes in vinyl. It's white vinyl. It's beautiful. And the cover is amazing. And then you get, they call it like an album slick. That's what we used to call it, where it's like a picture of the record, but it's not the actual sleeve. It's just the front cover. But they have a front cover of the cover of the record. On the back cover, it's me holding a Sawtooth guitar. It was like a brand new picture that we had sent to them for the record. And then, but I'm going to bring you upstairs in a few more minutes. But let me answer some Yes, I should do an MTV Cribs. Yeah, I can say this though. My alarm system's bad. No one gets in or out at night. Sensors, so, I sleep pretty good at night. Okay, let's see. Dave is here. Anybody? Okay, Michael, what's the use of guitar? What kind of question is that? What is the use of guitar? Let's see. Well, I can use it to hit somebody over the head that asks stupid questions. No, I'm just kidding. Or I could use it to, let's see. Well, I could use it as a shovel in wintertime. And so, but, there's some people that they say, some people had, they just wanted to make music and the guitar was the way they expressed themselves. And that was actually a quote that Robert Fripp from King Crimson said to Jimi Hendrix. About Jimi Hendrix. He said, Jimi Hendrix had something to say, and the guitar was the way he said it. And so I'm sure somewhere along the line, someone's going to go, dude, can you play Smoke on the Water, dude? No, man. I'm really, I'm still working on that one. And so, okay, let's see. Do they come with barred cases? I don't know what that means. Okay, so... Oh, yeah. Somebody wrote, oh, yeah, haha. Okay, cool. Hello from the UK. I love the UK. I hope to be on tour there again. Namaste. Yeah, that's great. I have a 10-year visa to India. I love India. Okay, let's see. You talk so much about the right hand. I've been playing. Wow, there's so many questions coming in. I can't read them. Oh, yeah, Brett. Brett's a good friend of mine. I was talking about the acoustics. I see Mickey. She's online. Let's see. Daniel, Jeff. Anyway, I'm going to just take you upstairs. You see the Sawtooth Guitars. We are on a mission. We have people that are musicians. We also have people that are one of the owners of the company came from a company called Command. If anybody in the industry knows about Command, we're talking, and they work very closely with people like Latin Percussion. See, it's not like a company where the head of the company doesn't even play an instrument, or if they say they do, they really don't. This is a company of passionate musicians that happen to come from a manufacturing background, that are brilliant business people, that care about what they do. So we even have like a Sawtooth band. One of the owners, Kevin, he's a monster singer. He's a young guy. He's got a great, it would be like the Soundgarden era voice. Just got a really good range, super soulful, great stage presence. He's one of the owners. We actually have a Sawtooth band that we can play, and this is a real band. These are real players and singers. This, when you play, it's inspiring to play on stage. It's not like, oh my God, I'm playing with the owner of the company. Let's see, I'm an endorsee of the company. I better not make the owner mad. It's not anything like that. It's fun. It's inspiring to play. I'm going to take you guys on a little trip. So what we're doing in Sawtooth is simple. We're offering phenomenal guitars for phenomenal price. When you see my signature guitar series expand, you're going to see the price points move up. We're going to make some guitars that, with the features we have on it, they have to be more expensive. But the ones that we introduce now are amazing. And the price point's great. Now, let's take this bad boy and move it upstairs. Okay, greetings from Pakistan. You don't know, somebody asked what's the use of the string dampener. Well, let me do that and then I'll bring you upstairs. I have a patent on this. Great guitarists like Jennifer Batten that play with Michael Jackson and Jeff Beck, she uses these. Here's what it does, watch. It blocks the strings. So instead of going, and so what does that mean? A lot of people, especially younger guitarists, they use what's called a fret wrap. And so what this does is, I'll say it, kind of use a big word, it blocks extraneous string noise. And what I mean by that is when you're tapping or doing things, it cleans it up. So if I want to play a lead so whatever I want to do, this will block out extra noise, especially with tapping. I knew, okay, wait, Dave, Elson, smoke, but you didn't smell smoke right. So evidently, you've been smoking something on the water. That's cool, bro. So anyway, I'm going to take you guys upstairs. I'm going to show you another little room. I got rooms everywhere. And so, but this room is kind of cool. It's my office, and I got a bunch of weird things in it. But let me take you down. But we're going up. Okay, let's go. Now I'm in my studio now. See what we do here. This is like a wall that we do. We set it up like a sound stage. Okay, now we're moving up. Okay, we are walking up 2 flights of stairs now. This is the hallway. This is my shrine to myself. Damn, I was cool looking. Okay, just kidding. All right, now we're walking upstairs. This is the hallway. Of course, I have the American flag. I like America. All right, my guitar room. This is my, also I love Egypt. So I have a lot of things from Egypt, Mexico. My family room here. Okay, let's walk. Now we're coming. I like plants. Check out this plant. This thing's huge. It's called a split leaf philodendron. I'm 6'1", 185 centimeters. This is this tall. I love plants. I look at these things. They're like monsters. Okay. Ukulele 1. Look at the detail on this. And I just got these in yesterday. That's ukulele 1. Ukulele 2. I'm going to be playing these. Now I'm going into my office here. Now this office is kind of crazy. The desk is well over 100 years old. I have some guitars here, but let's put the Sawtooth Guitars. Look at these bad boys. Let's start here. I'll just kind of show you if you can see. I don't know if you can see this that good. Let me turn on the light. Okay, hang on. Okay, anybody see that there? If anybody's Chinese, I got those made in China. One for my mom, one for me. Okay, let's move down here. Okay. Look at that. Look at this beautiful 12-string. They've got like a smaller size. They've got, look at this, this maple top. It's just, look at that. It's just gorgeous. I mean, these guitars sound amazing. Whoops. Well, that one is going to not be played tomorrow. No, I'm just kidding. If you can't take a bump. But anyway, I've got 5 guitars here, a 6th one, and I got 7 guitars in. I count the 2 ukuleles, but they just make beautiful, beautiful guitars. Okay, we had somebody ask about bend technique. I'll do vibratos maybe in the next lesson. Okay, I'm going back down to my studio now. I'll tell you, I get a good workout just walking around. And I'm not trying to show you this to be cool. I just want you to see, I'm so passionate about guitars. I have them everywhere. I love guitars. Okay. Yeah, the 12-string is beautiful. All right, I'm here in the studio again. Now, if there's any last questions, I will answer them. I'm not putting my guitar back on. I'm just going to tell you now that I am doing a live acoustic concert next week. So what we're going to be doing is playing, I'm going to use all those different guitars. Any nylon string? No, we don't have one. Yeah, somebody said I have beautiful eyes. Yeah, they're pretty blue. Like, wait. Anyway, and I'm a vampire. I don't go out in the sun. Like when I used to go out in the sun, but that's where I'm kind of well preserved. But maybe it's just because Dracula. Anyway, it should be M-A-D, mad. Michelangelo, Dracula. Yes, I'm mad. Anyway, but what I'd like to say is this, that when we do this acoustic concert/clinic, I'm going to be playing some country music, some jazz. I'm going to be playing some really cool stuff. And I'm going to be using those different guitars, even the ukulele. Somebody asked tips on descending the neck. Dave, I did that earlier in the lesson today. So if you can watch this again here on Facebook and on YouTube. Let's see. Why would somebody write that? Okay, about another company there. Okay, anyway, and I would ask this too, that if you know something about me, I've genuinely wanted to help people my whole life on guitar. But if I'm going to just throw this out there to everybody, do you ever see me like slamming other people, other guitarists? No. And so, I make observations, but I'm not a critic. And when I teach, I don't come from the school, you do this, you should do it this way, and these are the artists you should like. Why? Because my opinion is God. That's not the way it works. That's not good teaching. You know, when I taught Tom Morello. I taught some really famous guitars. I teach people in really, really, really big bands, kind of like Zoolander. Really, really big bands for people who like to play really good and write hit songs, but they want to learn my technique. And so what I do is this. I'm unbiased, I'm unprejudiced, and I don't care what technique it is. It's if you can use it even one song out of your whole life, why not? You know, and again, it is better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And so, and what I try to do and what I do with teaching is I separate the technique and tell you to play the music. And I ask people, I always ask my students, well, what do you like to listen to? What bands do you listen to? What artists? So I got a sense of what they wanted to know. And that would be great. Whatever you want to know is fine with you and with me. But then I would teach them what they needed to learn. So it's what you need to learn and what you want to know. And then you are a well-rounded player. Now, if there's any last questions, I'll ask it then. Okay, talking about Tom Morello. Thanks, Brett. Let's see. But again, if you want detailed teachings of mine, I have 13 full instructional videos with Metal Method. Okay, I have shown a lot to the guitar community over the years. If you want the details, the exercise that I showed multiple times today, I will post on this thread, you know, on this post when we're done. So, and if nobody can find it, we're promoting the new album on my page right now. So maybe after the promotion's done, I can put all the graphics that I did on one big post so you can download. But I'm here to offer free information. But one of the things that if you take anything out of these lessons that I've been giving you, it's not just an exercise here and there, because get speed kills. Speed kills works. And it has worked. And 20 years from now, 100 years from now, people will look at it and say, Michelangelo Batio was right. This works. And because it is a foundation based on my music degree. And again, it doesn't make me smarter or better. I just happen to study. And I happen to really enjoy it, and I happen to learn. And like I say, always a student. And so get my instructional programs. You can download them. You can buy a DVD if you want. But, you know, we usually do downloaded versions of them. They're amazing, and they're incredibly detailed. So that's that. The new signature guitars, I can't say enough about Sawtooth. They're doing it for the right reasons, and they're amazing. Check out the new record, More Machine Than Man. You can pre-order it at Rat Pack Records. Oh, I didn't show you guys that. So guess what? We're going back up. We're going back up into the MAB layer. Okay, hold on. Completely forgot about this one. And it was no Freudian slip. Okay, we're back up. Okay. All right, passing. These are the plants of doom here. Okay, check this out. This is what we used to call them slicks. See on the back is a picture of me. Okay, so that's what you get in one of the bundles. Check this bad boy out. This is one of my offices here. Okay, this is the record. Now I'm going to open it up. This is the back. These are numbered copies. Okay, so here's an album. Okay, the back cover. Now I'm going to open this up. I'm going to show you the inside. These are numbered vinyl, and we have cassettes. This is the inside of the record. This is the back side with all the thank yous. Now here's the real cool part. Sorry, I'm opening up a record while I'm talking to you. Okay, I've got to show you this. Okay. White vinyl. This is bad. Look at that. It's really thick. I don't know, 150 gram, 180 gram vinyl, but look at that, it's white. And it's just really an awesome package. And you can get this in CD form, you can get it in cassettes, and obviously downloads. And in fact, I got a thing from my Spotify channel, it'll be somewhere there, but I doubt it for a while. Anyway, so I'm going back down. Let's see, can't beat vinyl. I kind of agree with that. It still sounds really good. All right, somebody else wrote, okay, Ben. Oh, Haley said, I said hello. I have some really good friends that, okay. Are we offline? Okay, it looks good. All right. Anyway, yeah, Mary Beth, how are you? Now, is there any other questions? I'm going to sign off in a couple minutes. Also, you see, my studio's pretty good size here. Yeah, cassettes are selling really well right now. You know, one of the reasons somebody said, mentioned cassettes, you know, I actually got comments, people laughing like, cassettes. My nephew thinks, he's 18 years old. He thinks cassettes are cool. So think twice, okay? In order to think outside the box, you must know what is in the box. And so here's what's going on. One thing I know about cassettes, they have stood the test of time. I have cassettes from the 1970s that still play. Now, there was a thing that came out in the 80s called a DAT. It's a real, it looks like a cassette, but it's real little. And DAT stands for digital audio tape. I have a $2,000 DAT player that doesn't work. None of my DATs worked. The technology, whatever the particles were on that tape, just didn't stand the test of time. We actually had to bake. The engineer that I work with knows a process. He bakes them. He does some weird thing, but he gets the DATs to work. So I bought another DAT player. 0 of my DATs would even play. Cassettes, they play. And so the actual whatever the particles are on that tape have stood the test of time. They're actually really cool. And they're just très chic. You know, it's a collector's item. Like, let's face it, if you're on Spotify, that's not really a piece that it doesn't have a feel to it. You know, whereas you hold a vinyl, you know, piece of vinyl, or you hold a CD, or especially a cassette, something like that. It's real, it's tangible, and it's also collectible. So anyway, I just want to say this on behalf of Sawtooth Guitars, ChromaCast, and Sawtooth tube amps. You heard the amp today. It sounds amazing. And also ChromaCast music products. They're everywhere. ChromaCast is a very big company, just like Sawtooth, the conglomerate. I mean, they make beautiful basses, beautiful guitars, fantastic drums, percussion, keyboards. It's an amazing company. And then my new record, Rat Pack Records, also answer the question, should they be shipped to you with 9s or 10s? And then the last thing, is just, I want you to practice. Practice, practice, practice. What I'll probably do next week is talk about vibrato things. I'm not even real. Oh, no, I can't. It's the acoustic concert. I mean, in a lesson down the road. But next week, we're doing the all-acoustic concert. I'm going to have 7 guitars here. Yes. So anyway, I can't say enough. Thank you so much for the great response that we've had here on Facebook. And I will see you, hopefully, next week. Bye.